The latest version of Mean Girls enjoyed a good time at the theaters. And like all new remakes, the movie also embraced a diverse cast. But did you know that one of the new Mean Girls actors faced bullying in real life? In an exclusive conversation with WION, Avantika Vandanapu, who plays Karen Shetty in the film, opens up about dealing with mean people during her school days.
I watched it when I was like 7 or 8 with my dad, like glamorous, and I just had idealized all these girls in it and wanted to like go to high school and be like them and be like cool and smart and cool and pretty and like these popular girls. But I think as I grew older, my relationship with the film changed, and like all these dynamics of girlhood and interpersonal dynamics of girlhood that I think Mean Girls captures, I've related to very much. Well, I wouldn't say I had like the, I guess, luxury of choosing, like usually in at least like it's just a typical audition process, but I would say I'm very lucky because Karen was my favorite character from the original Mean Girls, so I was really fortunate to have, had Paramount see me and think that I was best suited for Karen. And so when I got the audition, I was obviously very, very excited and really hopeful that I would book it. And so having it now happen for real is a dream come true. I was gonna say, of course. I think, of course, everyone I think has had to deal with that in some sort of capacity. I would say that I grew up being very, very bullied, which I think is built for strong character and has toughened me up for sure. That being said, it was tough, and I had felt like, can I not be friends with girls? Like, is this how it's always going? It's really not. Like, I'd say majority of my friends now are women. You definitely just have to kind of find where you belong and find your people. But I think growing up, I was kind of like the ugly child, and I was a little weird, and I, wasn't always in school because I was like traveling back and forth for auditions. And so I think it just kind of cultivated this environment which made it easy for people to pick on me. And so I definitely would say that I've dealt with my fair share of mean girls or mean people in general. But I've learned how to stand up for myself and learned how to stand my ground. And so it's gotten easier for sure as I've grown older. I went to a public school when I was younger, and I was definitely in the minority as a brown person. And so people with like the standard, like making fun of the food that you eat, making fun that you have oil in your hair, whatnot. I'd say sure. I think my like really severe bullying, the kind that you see in Mean Girls, which is like emotional manipulation and like games, mind games like that, I think I really dealt with when I went to school. It's like 99% Asian people. It's like a really like academically rigorous school in the Bay Area where I grew up. And it's like a prep school, and so it's very, very competitive. And I didn't stay there for very long because I couldn't handle it. But everyone there was Asian. There was like one white person in our entire school. And so I don't think the like root of my bullying was me being brown, because 90% of the people that I was dealing with were brown. Which I think also makes it more unfortunate, because at least the bullying I faced that like stemmed from racism, I could just kind of remove from my mind saying, oh, they're just racist. But I think when it's like your own people, it does hurt a little more.